welcome back to another episode of Justlivin Designs podcast. My name is Sharon, Justlivin Designs. I am coming to you from Montana. I don't say that all the time. Very sunny day, Montana. We're supposed to get hot again. But yeah, today is May 8th. It is Thursday, 10:30 in the morning, recording a little later just because I had to mow. It's that time of year. I had to mow in the morning before it gets too hot. And then I had to shower because do that after you mow. And now I can actually get to podcasting. But yeah, so mowing every, at least twice a week right now because we've been having rain. So gotta mow often. Let's see. So this is my podcast that I talk about all my makes, essentially knitting, crocheting. I am an independent knitwear designer. Last episode I had a design release. This episode I do not. But there's links down below to everything I talk about. There's links to my Ravelry shop, but also I have a link tree that has shops for people that can't do Ravelry. I sell my patterns on both Lovecrafts and Payhip. So you can find those there as well. Also all my other things like Instagram, and I'm on Blue Sky and Threads. I'm not so active on Threads, really hardly at all, but I'm trying to be better at Blue Sky. I'm most active probably on Instagram. What else? I think that's everything about the right off the bat stuff. So I am not wearing any knitwear today. It is warm. Might be about 70 right now, getting really close to it. It is supposed to get up into the 80s again today, or it didn't yesterday. Yesterday was 70s, but today it's 80s, and then it's 80s through the weekend, I think. So, yeah, that's why I had to mow earlier. But I'm going to start with my finished objects, move on to my whips. Then I actually have a lot of acquisitions. And then books I'm reading, what I'm watching, life stuff. And then also it is the first episode in a new month. So I'm going to talk about my April stats right off the bat. I tried to keep track. Well, I keep track. I have a little book here that I keep track of all my, so this is my April one. So it has my current, my April whips, and then I check them off when I get them done. Then the next page, I have my April finished objects. And then I have I track my grams in and out, what for the month. So that's what I mean by April stats. I keep track of all that stuff. I also am pretty good at using Ravelry. I don't put all my yarn stash in Ravelry, but I'm good about using Ravelry for project pages because I find it helpful to see other people's projects of designs and stuff that I'm gonna knit myself. And I like to have it's nice for my designs to have more projects listed on Ravelry so other people can see it a little bit more and a little bit different ideas for things. So I try to use Ravelry for all my projects. Anyways, grams in and grams out. I had 445 grams come in April. And I had 927 grams go out. A big amount of that was my husband's sweater, if you remember. I think last episode I showed that. Sorry, I kicked the camera. Out of that, I had 6 finished objects. 1, 2, 3, 5 of those 6 were socks. And then 1 was a sweater. So, yeah, that's my stats for April. Sorry, my hair it's freshly showered, so it's drying. And it's in my face. Yeah, we'll get into finished objects. It's just 2 this time. I usually try to podcast every 2 weeks. So since last time I finished 2 pairs of socks, I have worked on a lot of things, but some stuff I won't show you because I have designs in the works. I usually don't show those until either they're released or shortly before they're released, just so they're not spoiled in the world too much. But my first pair is my scrappy socks that I made for my daughter. I made these, I was working on them last time. I made them out of self-striping scraps. And I knit toe up with a 3x1 rib for the leg and a 1x1 for the cuff, and then an afterthought heel. I do have a tutorial on this channel for how to cut in an afterthought heel. If you've never done it, I love it for self-striping because I love to bullseye the self-striping. But yeah, so I used a whole bunch of different scraps. There's Kirby Werby, there's Knit Picks Fleechy, there's, this one was Lollipop Yarns, which no longer dyes. There's from Freckled Whimsy, there's some Fiber Nymph Dye Works, her pie yarns. I used some of those in there, and then some Area 51 fibers. So they're all self-striping. Knit Picks is the only commercially one, and all the other ones are independent dyers. But yeah, I have tons of leftover self-striping scraps. My plan, and I thought about this last year, I want to say. Originally I was going to make like a blanket out of crocheted squares with them, and I was like, I'm not going to do that because that's just no. So the squares that I had made, I just gave away as coasters to people. And then I was like, it would look really cool in a jelly roll. And so I've been just saving them up, and because I have a DK weight jelly roll going, and I didn't want to start another fingering weight one right now. And I don't have a ton of different scraps. I have a lot, like some socks I could probably, or some balls I could probably knit a pair of shorties at least out of them. So sometimes I stash dive in my self-striping leftovers to make shorties too, which is what the next finished object is. So yeah, these ones are for my daughter. She'll be happy she gets them now. And then the next pair are mine. I made myself a pair of shorties out of leftover self-striping because I had about a little over 50 grams left, I think, of this ball. I made my son a pair of socks out of it years ago. And this was a local dyer, Two Sisters Yarn Co. for the striping. It was their 2019 LYS colorway. So LYS day was not last Saturday, but the Saturday before. And local yarn shop day. And so I cast these on, I think, on Thursday or Friday, just because I was like, oh, local yarn shop day, I'll use up more of this yarn and make myself a pair of shorties. And then I just used, I've used this for a lot of contrast. This is Yarnaceous Fibers and La Brea Tar Pit. I bought a single skein of that years ago and have just been using it for contrast. So this is my GHFSS socks pattern that is good heel for self-striping yarn. It is a heel, flap, and gusset that has a smaller gusset pickup, so you don't have as many stitches to decrease, but it's still a good gusset type because the heel is deeper. It's a square heel, so it has more stitches remaining on the heel when you get done with it. So there's less stitches remaining on the heel when you get done with it than the traditional triangle one. So there's less stitches to pick up. You still pick up the same amount on the sides, but less stitches total around on your needles, if that makes sense. But yeah, so the gusset only, so it doesn't mess up your stripes nearly as much. And I just wanted to use as much of the self-striping yarn, but I wanted to do a heel flap for this one, so I decided to do the contrast heel flap. And these will be mine. Yay. Socks for me, socks for my daughter. All right. Whips. I have 3 that I'm going to talk about. There's, like I said before, there's more on my needles because I have a new sock design that I've really been, I have 2 versions of it, a top down and a toe up version. And I have one of each sock done, and then I started the second because I like to do that and then write up the pattern and kind of test my own pattern by writing the second or knitting the second sock off the pattern. So that one is, I started the second one because I wrote up the pattern of the top down version so far. But then yesterday I started something new that took me away from working on that at all yesterday. But anyways, here is a pair of shorty socks that I'm making for my daughter. And this one I'm doing a heel flap and gusset, but this is my trusty top-down socks. So it has a garter edge for the heel flap, and then it has the triangle turn. And I am using, this is yarn that at the beginning of the year, I stowed away 12 skeins or sock sets in brown paper bags, and then every month I draw one, so it's my own little club, and I knit that yarn in the month. And this one, I don't know how long I've had it in stash, but she does still sell this colorway. This is spun right round, because when I first posted this on Instagram and my stories, I think I had at least 3 different people going, oh, I love that yarn, what color is it, you know? So then I had to like finally, I answered like 1 or 2 people, and then finally I was like, I'm just gonna post it again and tag the maker, because everybody was like, and one person even ordered it. So go order it. Great dyer, spun right round, great speckles, and fun colorways. And this one is called Spaced Out. And this is on a base she doesn't have anymore. It is her sock 80-20, so it's a thicker weight base, 80% merino, superwash merino, 20% nylon, but now she does have a 75-25, and then also her regular sock, which is 100% merino, I believe. But I like nylon in my socks, so when she started making, she started carrying some yarns that had nylon, that's what I started ordering from her. But yeah, this has been just sitting in stash, waiting to be knit up, and I knew my daughter would like it, and then I actually cast this on May 4th, I believe, on Star Wars Day. So I put a little Chewbacca charm from Charmed and Dangerous. I do have Star Wars yarn, but I didn't have that ready to cast on, and I had this ready to go because it was my May draw for the month, and it's spaced out and it kind of works. So yeah, I'm still working on the first sock, because again, I haven't been working on that very much as well. My t-shirt that I showed you last time hasn't gotten a lot of work because, again, I got busy with designing and then a new thing yesterday. But I did, this is where you guys saw it last time. So since then, I have separated for the sleeves. And I'm knitting down on the body just a little bit because I did decide to buy another ball of this yarn because my LYS still has it for this color. And I just don't know how much I'm going to get in the body with these 3. But this is made out of Hempathy by Elizabeth Levold Hempathy. And they're 50-gram balls. And I had 2 of this color before. And I bought 1 more. And I'm trying to decide if I should just pull from the inside and try to get one of the sleeves done and like measure out how much that is, and then do the rest of the body in this to finish this out before I stripe in the other ones, or what. I haven't decided yet. I got to figure stuff out a little bit on this. So I think that's one of the reasons I kind of stopped too, because I was like, should I start the sleeves yet or not? Should I break the yarn and start my stripes? I don't know. So it's probably the main reason I haven't been working on it a lot. But this is like a self-drafted tee. I'm just knitting it top down raglan, and we'll see how it looks. I don't know. My last whip is a new cast on from yesterday. I had no right casting this on, but I did anyways. So I have 2 of these going right now. I have a DK weight version and another fingering weight version. But this is the Coziest Memory Blanket by Kemper Ray. I have ends to weave in, but I usually don't do that till the end. So I started this yesterday. This is actually the only one I've ever done to the stitch count pattern. So this is 24 by 24. This is a free pattern. You've seen a lot of people make it. So I have 23, 23. So it's 46 stitches that you cast on. And then, so that's 23 per side to make a square. And they're just mitered squares, and you pick up as you go. I decided to make my daughter, because my other, okay, back up a second. My other mitered square blankets, I have one that uses about 10 grams of yarn, so the squares are bigger for fingering weight. That one's I'm making really big to fit on our bed, which is a queen size bed. The other one I'm making is a Christmas themed one, so it's using more holiday colors of yarn, and I'm holding fingering weight double and 20 grams total in those squares, and they're about the same size as the fingering weight for 10 grams. And this one is about 4 to 5 grams per square, depending on the yarn. And like I said, they're much smaller squares. But I decided I am working on a blanket, a crochet blanket right now that I was gonna give to my son for his bed. And I think I'm gonna make this one for my daughter. It might not be for her bed, but my goal is to have it done by the time she graduates high school / goes to college, which she's at the end of her sophomore year right now. That gives me 2 years to finish this blanket. I think I can do it. It might not be big enough for, like right now she's in a queen size bed. I'm not making a queen size bed size. Maybe I'll make a twin size, or maybe I'll just make an oversized Afghan so she could throw it on her bed at college if she wanted to, or she could just bundle up with it. So I haven't decided yet, but yeah, this is going to be her blanket that she gets to take to college. And yeah, just leftover scraps. A lot of these have been in other blankets already. So, and I have a whole basket bag full. This is a bag from Rainworks. They're local Montana makers. Love their bags. I use a US 2. These are the old signature needle crafts that you can no longer get because they went out of business. But I have 2 pairs of these size 2s. And these squares don't take nearly as long because, granted, there's not as many stitches, but it's gonna be I thought it'd be good to start right now because I can actually work on it in the summertime. And I didn't talk about these bags, but this one is Madder Root. I love this bag. It's one of their trundle bags, size, sock size. And then this one I talked about last time. It is from Brooklyn Haberdashery. Nice little bucket bag. But yeah, so for this blanket, I'm going to take stuff out of stash. So I have a little notebook that I kind of wrote down the simple instructions for, just so I don't have to like refer to the pattern, even though for the most part I remember it. But then the big thing is I'm tracking how much the yarn weighs before I start using it, the little scrap of leftovers, and then how much the square takes. Because every square, like I said, well, the lowest so far is 4.1 grams, the highest is 5.3. So about 4 to 5 grams. Just depends on the type of sock yarn it is. But yeah, so this one I'm going to take out as I'm working on it out of stash. Some of my blankets I do that, some of them I don't. So this one I was. And that's all of my knitting. But yeah, that blanket is really like taking over. I need to get back to work knitting, but I really like the blanket. Now I have a ton of acquisitions because it was, as I already said, LYS Day a couple weeks ago. It was also a local bookstore day. And then I also got some stuff in the mail because there were sales or my club. Yeah. So lots of yarn. My, yarn ins, most of them actually went in April because they came in April, or I got them in April. There's one big one that is for May because it didn't come in until May. All right, we're going to talk about acquisitions. First off, let's do LYS Day. So for LYS Day, I went to my local yarn shop, Yarn Bar, and they had some special things going on. So this is from Polka Dot Sheep, which is another Montana maker. They have a shop up in Whitefish. They're a indie dyer as well, but they also have a yarn shop. And this colorway they made special, I think, for LYS Day, and it's called Macaw. And so I bought this on their DK, Stump Down DK, which is a super wash merino, for my daughter, because she could not make it out for all the shopping because she had musicals going on that day, so she couldn't do it. So I bought this for her. She loves to knit with DK, hats and gloves and stuff. So, or mitts for friends and family members. So I thought this was a different color for her. Very pretty. And then I bought, for myself that I think I might design with. I'm not sure what. But this was a special colorway. So they are a carrier of lavendule. I think that's how you pronounce that. And they are from Italy. I think it's 1 or 2 women that run that business, and they hand dye. This is a blend of 60% wool, 20% alpaca, and 20% mohair. It's the chic blend. And they did a few different colorways that were regional to us, and this one was Yellowstone. And I just loved it because we're only like a couple hours away from Yellowstone. Yeah, so I might design with this. These are 50-gram skeins. It's fingering weight. It's about 225 meters. But yeah, I've used this before. It's like a light fingering. I've used it before in colorwork mittens and mitts and stuff. And I think I even used a little bit of it in my most recent gnome that I knit, some leftovers. And then I got myself a fixed circular 16-inch number 4 because I'm going to cast on that scrappy scarf thing where I'm using mini skeins. I'm going to do that here this summer for a nice scrappy project to work on that's not heavy like a blanket. And I didn't want to use up my interchangeable set for that long for something like that. So I just picked up a single one. And then I got one of these bags. These are from the old snap bags from, I can't remember, Delicue, I think makes these now. But this is a fun one. I've never seen this style before. So it's just got snaps for closures. And can close this side like that, and then it's kind of nice. You can leave it closed and have the yarn coming out of it if you want, so your stuff doesn't fall out. Things don't snag. This one has a little handle, but it also has a couple of pockets in the middle, so there's some open ones on either side, and then there is even a zipper pouch in this one in the back that's open right now. Oh no, it's not. Anyways, so I got one of these. I thought it would be nice, especially like in the summertime for socks or something. And then they had some free gifty gives at the yarn bar. So I got this sticker from, it's a Shelly can. Gave it to my daughter, so she's gonna get this back. And then I got a little tag that you can sew on. These were made, I think, by, was it Trinkles? It has a little martini olive for the yarn bar because that's their kind of logo thing. So yeah, that's what I got for LYS Day. I just have so much stuff around me. Let's see. We'll do the same day. So down the street from the yarn bar is our local bookstore that I like. It is this House of Books, and they did actually a joint like giveaway. So they had a big giveaway that everybody could like sign up for that had stuff from both stores, in both stores. So they had 2 giveaways, and one was giving away from their store and the other from their store, and they had like a walking path with balloons and stuff. Anyways, went in there, got The Stone Sky, which is the 3rd book in the Broken Earth series. This will probably be my next read once I'm finished with The Martian, because this is the 3rd book, final book in that series. So I'm looking forward to that. This is N.K. Jemisin. I've enjoyed the series so far, so that'll be good. And then I picked up this book, which I didn't realize at the time that we already had a copy. The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet by Becky Chambers. I thought it would be a fun book for like me and my son to read because he likes sci-fi, and I thought I'd enjoy it too. I think I've probably bought it actually before from that store. It's just that when if I don't put it in my bookshelf, if I give it to like my son right away, I forget that I buy it. And I think that's what happened because we had 2 books of the same kind. Anyways, so maybe that will be a giveaway at some point. Other things. So everything else is from the mail that I got. So I got the May installment from my Freckled Whimsy Club. Didn't even take it out of the bag yet. This is my, like I said, May one. I got it at the end of April. Hopefully everybody's gotten it by now because, you know, it's been over a week since I got it. This is their Nature Palette number 3, May 2025. If you haven't received yours yet, look away. It is called Wildlife Sanctuary, and it is a 6-stripe repeat. So this one's meant to be more in the natural tones. I get it on the Glee base, which is very similar. Well, it is probably the exact same base that Wool & Sadash uses, a 90% superwash Targhee, 10% nylon. And I do get it with the mini, and it's a 25-gram mini. But those are pretty. More blues this time. I'm actually, one of the designs that I'm working on right now, I'm using my first sock set from this club. And then Legacy Fiber Arts had their summer sale, which is not, they're more colorways that did not work out right, or testing things and stuff like that. So they don't have names. It's just numbers in the lot. So I picked up 2 of them. So they're cheaper prices too. I got this colorway because I thought my daughter would like it for something sock wise, or a sock hat thing like a Musselburgh or something. Or one of my nieces might like this. But this one is their steel toes. So it's 75-25 superwash merino nylon. And then I got a micro sock kit. I love their micro sock kits because it comes with a 50-gram fingering weight with a 20-gram mini, which is all you generally need for, at least for my size of socks. It's all I need. And this one was pretty with a lovely yellow, tonal yellow. And I really like this color. And again, it's their steel toes base, so 75-25. So those, and then Brooklyn Tweed had announced that they are going to stop producing yarn, which is very sad. I don't remember how many years they've been doing it, but I love their yarns. I love the sweaters I've made out of their yarns. It was my first woolen spun type of yarn that I ever used, and that's my favorite ones that they had. They're like Loft and their Shelter, which I have 2 sweater quantities of Shelter down in my stash that I haven't used yet. So I was like, well, I'm going to pick up some Loft because I would like some more sweaters, fingering weight sweaters. So I got a big bag of Loft. And they're 20, I don't know if they still have any stock left remaining, but any of the yarn shops that stock them, I think, are also having the sale as well. When I bought these, it was 20% off. So I bought 5 skeins of Artifact, which is a lovely deep green. I had, I'll grab these. I had this much left over from a previous skein, and it, you know, even though it's like way older, plus the swatch that I did. I say swatches, and I can reuse them if I need to. So I have a little bit more, because generally for me, these are 275 yards per 50 grams. And generally for me, about 5 of these will make a fingering weight sweater. But this one I was thinking about making a colorwork sweater. So if I needed a tiny bit more, I have it. But I ordered 1 skein of Foothills, which is this lovely green. And their Loft is like a tweedy type yarn, just like their Shelter is. So it's hard to see in this, but there's like yellow bits and some like grayish blue bits for the tweed in there. And this one has like brighter yellow pops and some little darker bits too. But I thought these would be really pretty as like a color work sweater of some sort. I don't know which one, but I thought they'd be lovely. So that's one set. And the next sweater quantity I got was, I got 5 skeins of wood smoke. I have used this color in my Birkin sweater. I used cast iron for the main color and then wood smoke for the contrast. I had one full skein, and you can even see the labels are different, but they are very similar. This one's just slightly warmer, I'd say, than this one, but they're very close. So if I need to break into this old skein, I can. Because I was thinking maybe a cardigan out of this one would be nice. A nice neutrally color fingering weight cardigan. So yeah, I got 5 skeins of this as well. Plus I have that one skein, plus I have a little bit of leftover of an old skein of that as well. So I have leftovers of that, and like I can make it work. I can, you know, blend. So I was like, that way I got what I think I need for a sweater, but I had some extras if I didn't have enough. That is all the name. Like I said, lots of acquisitions, but took advantage of the Brooklyn Tweed going out of producing yarn. They're still going to be doing patterns, and their patterns are amazing, but I really love their yarn. Like I said, I have 2 sweater quantities down here for Shelter, which is their worsted weight woolen spun, and now I have 2 for fingering weight, and that will make me happy. All right. Next, I'm going to talk about my reading, watching, and life stuff, and some upcoming plans I have. So reading, I have finished one book. I finished The Turn of the Key by Ruth Ware. I was listening to that on my Libby app from the library. I really have come to decide that I really enjoy Ruth Ware books. They are a thriller type mystery novel that is just, they're written really well. The stories are interesting, and I don't 100% know who's the baddie in the end, you know, who did it in the end. So that I like it when I can't guess the ending of these types of books, and I usually don't with her books. So I really enjoyed that. I think I gave it a 4 stars. And then I'm currently listening to The Split by Sharon Bolton on my Libby app. And that one is another like mystery thriller. I'm enjoying it. It's okay. I kind of think I know where it's going with everything. So, and then I'm reading at night, The Martian by Andy Weir. It's really funny because my son checked out, he's read that book a million times, and we have a copy at home, but he had to check out a book from the library for school, and he checked that out again and just really got back into reading Andy Weir. So he finished that one quick, and now he's reading Artemis, which is the next one he wrote, which is the next one I need to read. And then he'll probably read Project Hail Mary, which is the other book he's read written by Andy Weir, and that's my son's favorite book, I think, of all time so far. So from all authors. So yeah, he really got back into reading Andy Weir books now with The Martian, and I'm enjoying it. Like it's different enough from the movie. The movie's good, but this is even better. There's more details, more sciencey stuff than the movies. And then I'm still watching A Handmaid's Tale. I'm not watching quite as often. What season am I in? Season 4, maybe? I don't think I'm season 5 yet. I think I'm on season 4. Not really watching a ton of Northern Exposure either, but every once in a while I'll watch an episode of that. My husband and I watched It, the 2017 version. We had never watched that. I don't remember what streaming services they're on, but my husband doesn't like clowns, and so that's a scary movie for him. And this one was a lot grosser and stuff than the original It, way more gross and gory, I'd say, than the original. I still enjoyed the original better, I think. We watched Final Destination. When did that come out? In 2000 or something, with the kids, because my husband really wanted to watch it with everybody, and I don't know why. I don't think I'd ever seen it, and I would say there's a good reason for it. It's not a very good movie in my mind, but I don't want to watch any of the other ones, I'll tell you that much. We watched The Conjuring. I think we just watched that with my daughter one night. She wanted to watch a scary movie, and she likes like ghost hunting type stories and stuff like that. So we watched The Conjuring. I found that to be a really good movie. There is The Conjuring 2 that we might have to watch at some point. And then one time I was flipping through and I didn't know what to watch, and I love like corny action movies. And the Kingsmen, multiple Kingsmen have come out, but the first one was on one of our streaming services, and I was like, oh yeah, I kind of wanted to see that, and it was fun. I enjoyed it. Yeah, I do enjoy an action movie, especially a corny one. Like, I don't like the ones that are like super bloody gory as much. I mean, I like those ones too, but I just love action movies. Like Die Hard movies, love them. John Wick movies, love them. Those ones are a little more gory, but love them. Love my action movies. Yeah. Only other thing I want to talk about is some upcoming things that I'm planning on in. Right now I have a sock out to testers, so that should come out by the end of May. A new sock design. It is written for both a tall sock and a shorty sock. It's just a fun texture sock. My testers have really been enjoying it, so I hope you guys all will too. I am going to be teaching some sock help classes, my LYS, the yarn bar. I'll try to link it down below. They are running summer knit along for Summerlee Knits sock designs. So it's basically you knit a Summerlee pattern, and there's like, I don't remember all the details about it, but you have to pay to be a part of it, and then you get something special. I think you get discounts on the designs or patterns maybe, or everybody gets a free pattern. I'm not quite sure how all of it works from Summerlee, and then you get like discounted on sock yarn every month. And it starts in June and goes through August. So 3 months you get discounted sock yarn for your socks. And then it's like, there's different categories at the end for your socks, like first finished sock, last finished sock, most finished socks, you know, most colors used, because some of her patterns are like scrappy ones. And then I am going to be doing some like sock help, not really classes, but like where I am the mentor that you come in during these times. I can't remember the dates. Again, I'll put them down below, but they're like mid-June, and there's like 2 Wednesdays in a row from 5 to 7 at night. I want to say, I can't remember the dates. Sorry, I should have written it down. But yeah, so those will be linked below too, and I will be there to help people if you're kind of new to knitting, or you haven't really, or new to knitting socks. It's not going to be a sock class, but if you need help with techniques or other things, or little special tips and tricks, I will help you out with those things too. Then the other thing that I'm got upcoming is I think next week I'm going to record a bonus episode with all my blanket whips and give you guys like an update with all the blankets, because most of them are going to be put into hibernation for the summer months, except for the new one that I just cast on because it's not very big yet. But most of them you won't see again for a while, I'm guessing. I did work on some of them earlier this week just because we had colder weather, but I haven't worked on many of them very much lately at all. So I just wanted to kind of show you everything. There's a lot of them, and then put them away for a bit. Life stuff. So that's kind of the upcoming life stuff. And then what we've done for the last couple of weeks. I mentioned earlier, my daughter had her musical. She was a grip and costume worker for the Sound of Music, the high school production. It was incredible. They did a fantastic job. The singers, incredible. The cast, they did have little kids even, and oh my God, the littlest one that plays Gretel or whatever, so cute. Just like she is in the movie, she was so cute. And then, so they had like 3 of the kids were not high schoolers, And then 3 of the kids were high schoolers that played them. So it was a very enjoyable show to watch. We went Saturday night 2 weeks ago. They had shows Thursday night, Friday night, and then 2 shows on Saturday, an afternoon and a Saturday night. And then on Sunday they had where they took down the set and everything. And then they had a little bit of a cast party in a park that evening before it started to rain. So yeah, she had a blast. She loves working on shows and stuff, and had a blast. And it was, like I said, very good. Soccer has been going on the last couple weekends. My son has this weekend and then one more weekend, and then he will be done. But I believe my daughter will still be reffing some later into June. I think at least some of the local clubs still do some into June. So she'll still be reffing sometimes. Illness, you can probably hear that my cold isn't 100% gone yet. I still have some stuffiness. It's a lot better. Monday was horrible. This last Monday, my nose was like running like crazy all day. It's kind of up and down on how it's been, but I've been sick for like 2 weeks and I'm ready for it to be done. My son seems to be pretty much over it, and my husband seems to be pretty much over it. So I should be soon, hopefully. Other things going on is my daughter today, she got excused from all her classes because she had her first PE exam today for world history, or not PE, AP exam. I think PE, because my husband's a professional engineer, and that's what he had to take to be a professional engineer. Anyways, AP exam. And so they got excused from all their classes because, like, she has to drive to the college in town, which is a ways away, and she's picking up a friend and everything else to take her there. So they got excused. I think the test starts here in about 15 minutes. And then it should last 3 to 4 hours. She feels pretty confident. She has another one next week for AP pre-calc. So yeah, she only has 2 AP classes. She has 1 honors class, I think 1 honors class and 2 AP classes. So the honors one doesn't have the special like AP portion of it, but yeah. So yeah, that's been fun and stressful for her probably. And then they go to, their school goes all the way to like mid-June. So they won't be out of school until mid-June. But the AP tests are here in May. What else? I think that's about it. Like I said, I will be having some classes, mentoring time slots at the Yarn Bar here in June for sock knitters if you're local and would like to sign up for those. And then, yeah, next week I'll come at you with a bonus episode. So instead of seeing you in 2 weeks, I will see you next week, where I'm just going to talk about blankets. So if you want to hear about all the blankets, most of them are scrappy, one is not, join me next week. But thanks for joining me this week. I hope you guys had a good 2 weeks. I hope you have a good next week, or 2 weeks if you don't come back for the blanket episode. I'll be back in 2 weeks for my regular podcast. Well, I'll talk about all the things. But yeah, I hope you guys are having a good May. It's hot. We're supposed to be in the 80s today, tomorrow. Saturday, high 80s. We were only in the 40s and 50s on Monday and Tuesday because we had rain. Which is why I was mowing again, because rain. Anyways, blabbering. Have a good May, guys. Bye.